So 2 years ago, I recorded this funny video called "How to Animate in firealpaca for Dummies." But surprise, I was 15 and it was not very good, and it did not quite cover everything. So people had a lot of questions. Those questions included some very important ones, like how do I color my frames? And you did not explain how to make a video here. So today, I will be making that video, but even better. So, let's say you have this pretty dang awesome animation. It's what the cool kids are making, right? Looks something like this, probably. You just want to make a cute little loop, right? Is that what the cool kids still do? I don't know. But now you want to color it, but you cannot quite figure out how to color it because firealpaca uses layers for frames. How does that work? Okay, so cool kid trick. Turn off animation mode. Dot. This is a very tedious process, but I will show you the process for how to color one singular frame. Okay, so now that's done, you can start to cut. Put a layer below the frame you want to color. Let's say we want to make this character orange. Ah. So make the character whatever color you want them to be. Your character will probably be more complex than mine. Look, he's orange now. So when you turn animation mode back on, you get this. He's orange for a singular frame. It's gonna take forever, but you can do this for but you'll have to do this for every single frame. Repeat that process like how many frames do I have? 20 times. Whoa, okay. And now, for another frequently asked question I got. How do you line your animations? Like, how do you make them not look like this? Turn off animation mode again. Reduce the opacity for the layer you want to line. This is hard without a mouse. And then, by cleaning up your animation, do the lining stuff that you always do. Voila, look. This is a very rushed cleanup. Yours will probably look better than this, but this is the basic process. Now I'm going to undo that and turn animation mode back on so I can show the next frequently asked question. Okay, so frequently asked question number 3, and probably the most frequently asked one. How do you turn your animations into a video? So there are a couple of ways to export your animation. You can export it as an animated GIF. Like this. Set the frames per second, set on infinite loop. Now, outside the recording, I'm going to make sure that worked correctly. Another thing you can do is export the frames with each individual layer, which is typically what people do for longer videos. You can select transparent the background or not, and then it'll export your frames. Easy peasy, right? So now we are in Shotcut. It is a free video editor. You can install it on Windows, and I would say it works pretty well. You can use any video editor for this though. I used to use Premiere Pro until I graduated and lost my subscription. So one way you can do this is use that GIF you export and just copy paste it a bunch of times in the timeline. You'll get this. Or undoing all of that. You can take all of these individual frames and do it the cool way. .png 01.png. Wait. You'll take the properties of that and then reduce it to your frames per second, which I think is around 0.0. So 12 frames per second would be around 0.08 seconds if I recall correctly. And then you do that for every single frame. I'm sure you can copy paste some, but again, this is the annoying process. But it is typically done for longer videos, where a single GIF would not suffice. So, with all of that away, you should probably have a video now, at least in some capacity. You might want to add audio, in which case you would have to download your audio from YouTube. There are video downloaders out there, but make sure you find a trustworthy one. Another thing you can do is if you happen to have a phone, you can screen record a YouTube video or Spotify or Apple Music audio and just export it to your computer, which honestly sounds less suspicious than using a video downloader. But I digress. I hope that this video answered a good deal of your questions. I am aware that this is kind of fast and that this is only a little bit more professional than part 1, but thank you for watching.